production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
PNC, committed to Central Ohio, for the achiever in you. From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.
This time on Broad and High, we venture an hour north of Columbus to explore the thriving arts and culture scene in the Mount Vernon community. And our local music series continues with a dreamy pop performance by Blanket Boys. This and more right now on Broad and High. Welcome to the show. I'm Kate Quickle, and I want to know, are you ready for a road trip? This past summer, a Broad and High viewer wrote in asking us to consider a visit to Mount Vernon. So we did. We ventured north to Knox County. It's about an hour's drive from Columbus to see just what the city had to offer. And what we found was definitely worth the trip. From hand-blown glass and hand-tooled leather to soap making and wood carving, the area is just bursting with creative spirit. So enjoy this travelogue showcasing just a few of those who are contributing to the charm, personality, and overall artistic landscape of the Mount Vernon community.
Come show how pretty you are. Come show how pretty you are. So this is Sabine, and she's the tamest because I've had her since she was born. So the reason I got llamas is because I worked with people with disabilities, and I looked into equine therapy, we looked into dog grooming and boarding, and then I met llamas, and they're just like so chill. And so I found out for myself what made a good day for me was spending time in the barn with the animals. A way better day than being in the office. And so I put a few alpacas and a few llamas and a few Angora rabbits, and I had my own little fiber flock in my backyard, and I've been super excited ever since. Do you see alpacas have little pointy ears? And llamas have big curved banana-shaped ears. So I quit my job and I've had a wonderful time. I have no stress. I'm happy, it's fun. I love creating and I love teaching. So we're at 227 South Main Street in downtown Mount Vernon at NIMBY Acre Fiber Art. I like small farms now that I am one, and I like helping people that are raising their own animals. And so most things here are small farm or small animal, you know, they're locally sourced as much as possible. So an alpaca has much denser fleece than a llama. So I can get 3 times the amount of fiber from an alpaca than I can a llama. So once a year, the llamas and alpacas are shorn, usually in late spring, and I end up with a big trash bag full of fiber, and then I wash it in my kitchen sink that's here, and then I spin it, and then it's ready to be woven or knit into something. So I have 2 Angora rabbits. All right, Pearly Girly. This is Pearl Jam. She's an English Angora, and her face gets very fluffy. Last night I trimmed a lot of it off. So her hair will just come out by doing this to it. This is called plucking. Last night I was brushing her out, and all of this came from just brushing her last night. This is Angora fiber, and it makes dreamy, soft yarn and clothing. But it doesn't hurt the animals to use their fiber. It's better for your skin, it's better for the environment, it breathes. They have, a lot have bacterial purposes, they wick moisture away, so natural fibers are just so much nicer. I would love to be a knitter, but what I truly love to do is weave. When I did the store, I wanted to have a place that you could buy products to do your own knitting and spinning and weaving. I wanted a studio space, so I also use all the looms. And then I put a couch and a lounge area in the back, so if anyone wants to come and sit and knit, there's no cost. They know that there's supplies here. If they run out, they can buy more. So I feel that everyone has something that they were meant to do. Okay, and when you find your true calling, you have a lot of peace and joy. And I feel that everything I did in my life led me to the point I am now. But it's really cool in your 50s to find what you're passionate about and what you love, and to be able to just fully embrace it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy and passionate. So find what you love and do it.
You're in Down Home Leather. We manufacture and make and design all of the products in this store. And everything is made right here in Mount Vernon. We started in 1969, so we have been here almost 50 years. I grew up in a leather shop that my father ran in Mount Vernon, and his father also had a leather shop. Me and my son produce 90% of it. My wife cleans up our act. She's the quality assurance to make sure the things we bring are finished, or she sends them back.
I'm the one who picks out the leathers because I like what I see, and I also do trim work and zipper work. We have a lot of different colors. We have like eggplant and a green and gold and yellow and everything. All my favorite colors, we really do, that are fall colors.
Well, it's got this magic aroma that people seem to like, and I do especially. The fibers are very tough. You can cut them in almost any direction. It's not like material that you have to be so careful of which way the fabric is pulling or stretching, but it's got a tough resiliency and nice to work with. You look at several things and you say, well, if we made this better or a different color, it's going to look really nice. So you have your own inspiration and your own ideas that bring forth these ideas, and hopefully somebody else is going to agree with you. And we enjoy the, putting things together and getting it finished. It sometimes does not behave itself, and sometimes it's stiffer than it should be, and other times it's not as resilient as it should be. And every hide is completely different. One mistake that people make with leather is when you get leather wet, you do not want to get it near heat. Don't try to dry it in any kind of heat or put it in the sun. If you just let it at a cool temperature, dry naturally, it will not hurt it at all.
After all these years, I see people that they have bought purses from us 30 years ago, and they're still carrying them, and they tell me about it. It makes me feel fantastic. It really does.
I mean, it's an enjoyable business at this point. I hope it can stay this way. I don't want to increase production to a mind-boggling thing or anything else. As long as we can keep people happy, that's an enjoyable part of whatever anybody's doing.
Kudos is an artist co-op, so it's a cooperative. Well, we currently have 22 artists, and every single item in this shop is handmade with love and care by our 22 artists. And we have a very wide variety of media because that's one of our mantras, variety. Jamie Ingledew is our soap maker. Jamie has been with us since day one, which means going on 8 years.
So this is pre-mixed lye water that I'm just measuring out now very carefully. Well, I started making soap in 1999. It was so much better for my skin than commercially produced soap, which is actually detergents in our farm, not even chemically soap. I'm gonna pour into these containers to color it. Over here, we're gonna put some gold, nice and shimmery. I have a small business called Dancing Bee Farms. We chose the name Dancing Bee Farms because my husband has kept bees. We've kept bees for, I don't know, at least a decade now. The bees, when you might have heard of this, but when they find a nectar source, they come back to the hive and they do, you can't make this up, it's called the bee waggle. They do a little dance that gives the other bees instructions, literally, for where the nectar source is. So they give directions to the other bees through this bee dance. And we were always fascinated with that idea.
Jamie started with just soap here at Kudos, and her product line has expanded greatly since then.
One of my more popular products is a hard lotion. It's a solid lotion, and it just melts onto your skin. And because it has no water, it requires no preservatives. And I feel like there's a real market there because the commercial soap makers have really not filled that market niche because people want not only natural products, but they want more gentle products. Once you try handmade soap, you just can't go back to the store-bought stuff.
In the last 10 years, there has been a total explosion of art and really cool shops in Mount Vernon. So it's a very cool place to visit and a cool place to live.
My name's Sebastian Coleman. I'm a glassblower based out of Mount Vernon, Ohio. I had spent 11 years in the biotech industry doing clinical research. And my dad, who was a glassblower my entire life, passed away in August of 2015, and I changed careers a month later. I went to the first outdoor art show with my parents in a pack and play when I was 18 months old. I ground my first piece of glass on that grinder when I was about 3 years old, sitting on my dad's lap. Our glass is reclaimed from one of the now defunct glass factories that was based out of Lancaster, Ohio. When they went out of business, we got about 4 dump truck loads of the glass that's in our barn, which is the stock that I use. It's called Cullet. That's the way that my dad has been blowing glass since we built this place in 1978, so I'm still using the same techniques. once I have that cullet to melt down, I have to add 4 different chemicals, soda ash, borax, fluorspar, and a little tiny bit of antimony oxide in specific proportions that we've developed to match that specific glass from that factory over the years. And it's just something that I've been doing ever since I was a little kid. So I guess I really enjoy sort of the tradition of it and just that knowledge that has been passed down to me, which, for good or bad, doesn't really exist anywhere else. So the glass that you can purchase has a much longer working time because it's specifically made for this use, whereas what we use was not originally intended for this, so we're making it usable to us. But at the same time, it makes the working time of that glass a lot shorter than what you might find with glass that you buy from a company. I'm working faster and also don't have any assistance, so I'm working by myself and faster. Well, I always say there's a family resemblance, just like if we were standing next to each other, you would know that I'm his son. Our work has a family resemblance.
My name is Vicki Coleman, and I am Sebastian's mother. This is my gallery, and it involves everyone in our family. I love having it. It makes me feel really good about my family. I'm very proud of all my children and what they do. Chloe, who is a photo editor. Fletcher, who is getting his PhD in Asian art history. Gabe, who's a veterinarian, but he also makes pieces out of wood. And Sebastian, and it shows all of Sebastian's glasses in here. So that's all we have in here. It's just our family. It makes me feel really, really good that Sebastian's there and continuing the glass blowing. He would be so happy if he knew Sebastian was blowing glass in his shop. They talked about it a little bit before he passed away, but he did not imagine, I don't think, that he was going to quit his job and blow glass.
Doing what I'm doing now is something that I had thought about doing for quite a while. And based on, life and different factors, it never became possible. And then after my dad passed away, I realized that if I didn't do this now, this wouldn't be here anymore. If this equipment doesn't get used, it will rust and deteriorate and just no longer be functional. So I guess I kind of feel like not only am I keeping this studio alive, but in that I'm keeping my dad's memory kind of alive. That's one thing I really enjoy, is every day when I'm working, I just kind of feel like I'm get to hang out with him.
Just a lot of abstract shapes, lines, things that really weren't completely discernible. I just knew that I had to get them out somehow besides just doodling. I needed to actually apply it to a material. Some of it's very abstract, and I just thinking of shapes, and not really thinking, but just kind of processing feelings and seeing what shapes come out of that. I also like to do a lot of very literal interpretations of nature. So I like to carve what looks like a topographical map, or maybe just a half shell of a black walnut that kind of looks like a face. But I like to juxtapose those natural shapes against more abstract shapes. One of my relatives, Roy Setzel, was a famous woodcarver out in the Northwest, and his daughter continues to woodcarve. She merges weaving with carving, and that always kind of mesmerized me. I was always really enchanted by that. So I ended up going out there to Portland and learning a little bit, and then move up here just really freed up some time so I could focus on just starting to carve all the things that I had been drawing the whole time. Relief carving just means that we're not doing like a three-dimensional sculpture. So a sculpture would be something that would, would be carving all the way around it, whereas relief is more of a board that would go on a wall or maybe lean against a wall, and you just carve into it one way. Chisels are used for different kinds of carving. Those have the flat edges. The gouges are more have a curved edge at the bottom. Some are shallow curve and some are very deep curve, depending on how much wood you want to get rid of. So I just have about a dozen or so of those, and then on the harder woods I have to use a mallet to try to make that happen. This is Milos. Hey, bud, come here. Come here, sit down. Milos is 4, and he likes to sit or lay down in the garage as I'm carving. So I carve, I have on the classical music, and he's laying right there doing nothing, but looking out for, the potential threat of a mole digging a tunnel in our yard. So he's a good boy. I wasn't very familiar with the Mount Vernon community until my wife and I moved out here. And when I started walking up and down Main Street and I saw the leather workshop and the pottery place and the glass blowing shop, I thought, this is all great stuff. This is all top-notch stuff. And people should know about this. Just because we're a little bit out in the country, it doesn't mean that we're lacking in any of the other things that might be more familiar in the city. There's a lot of support for artists around here that I was pleasantly surprised about. Yeah, it's a great place.
The latest guests to grace the WOSU studios are Columbus-based musicians Lisa Brokaw and Joe Camerlengo. Together, they produce the dreamy pop sounds of Blanket Boys. Here they are performing their song, Anybody.
I don't think I'm ready. Sorry that you met me. Still, I don't get to sleep. So much as leave my body. But I hope you get more sleep. Now that you don't need anybody. I picked my mattress off the floor. I'm not a kid anymore. I fold my laundry and wake up early. I'm afraid that you're afraid of me, though I loved you with all of my being. Wasn't always human. Don't know what I'm doing, but I try to get more sleep. Try not to leave my body. Still, I hope you get more sleep. Now that you don't need anybody or
Visit wosu.org/localtunes to see more studio performances by Blanket Boys, along with our Q&A with Joe and Lisa. If there's a band you'd like to see perform here, or if you'd like us to come out to visit your community, give us a holler on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We're closing today's show with more music by Blanket Boys. For all of us here at WOSU, I'm Kate Quickle. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next week.
Heard it all before.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
PNC, committed to Central Ohio, for the achiever in you. From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.